Hello, online crew, and welcome to today's live where we are talking about something that you really need to do before you go into 2023. If you want to have more success in 2023, then we need to do some things at the end of 2022 so you can evaluate properly and, sort of things like that. So they'll get to that in a moment. What I do recommend that you do from what I'm sharing with you in this video is grab a pen and a paper, because I've got 5 questions that you really should ask yourself at the end of this year in 2022 before you move into sort of what it is that you're going to do in 2023. So bottom line is that you just can't change things that you're not aware of. So we have to ask some certain questions of ourselves to be aware of some certain things to be able to do better next year. If you don't go through this process, you could repeat the same unhealthy habits that maybe you've had this year. And I'm sure none of you want to do that. We've all got things that we can improve on. None of us are perfect. We never will be. But we have to take a good hard look in the mirror sometimes at ourselves and what our patterns are to be able to actually improve and change. Change is hard. I don't like to use that word, because when you say hard over and over and over again, you'll get more hard. So we really have to be aware of our language. If you keep telling yourself, "Oh, this is so hard," or "I can't," or you're full of excuses, then that's what you're going to continue to get. So you need to be careful around the words that you use, and don't use words like, "Oh, this is so hard, that's so hard, this is so hard." If you continue to tell yourself that, then it will continue to be hard. So there's a whole psychology around all of this. If you're not familiar with my lives, great to have you here for a start. But at the beginning of the week, which is this live, I share something to do with personal development and personal growth to really help you sort of think and become aware and help you be a better version of yourself. Because although we're here to talk about social media strategies and how to build a business online and use modern social media strategies to, build an amazing business online, none of that matters unless you're in the right sort of frame of mind. It really doesn't, because you'll just let yourself down. You won't do the work. You'll just listen to training after training after training after training, and you won't do anything with it. That's the kind of person that needs to take a step back and do some evaluating, because you want to actually implement what you're learning and all that kind of stuff. So I'll get into that, but if you grab a pen and paper, I do recommend that you write down these 5 questions that I'm going to give you in a moment. Okay, before I get to that, if we haven't met before, my name's Helen Martin and I'm your online crew captain. And this is just a little bit of fun for our online crew community here of home-based business owners, direct sellers, social sellers, entrepreneurs, network marketers, etc. And you want to leverage social media, attract more people to you to build a business, online. There's still a place for offline, guys. It will always be there, and you should still be networking and talking to people about your business. But we can attract people to us through social media. And there's a right way to do that and a wrong way to do that. In my world, I prefer to do it by being a human before a marketer. So, there's strategies around that. So if that's what's important to you, you do want to build and attract more people to you through social media, but you want to do it by being a human before a marketer first, then you're in the right place, because that's what we talk about here. Just a couple of things that are going on this week. Tomorrow, we've got Clubhouse, where we're talking more about planning for 2023. So I do recommend that you jump on that or catch the replay of that. And those of you that are in my private coaching community, we've got our live Q&A Zoom calls this week. So for those of you in the US and Canada, that one's tomorrow. And those of you in the UK, it's the next day. Australia, you get the choice of sort of both. And that's where you get the opportunity to jump on and get some sort of coaching and mentoring from me and whatever it is that you're struggling with. So you definitely utilize those calls this week to have a chat about whatever it is that you're struggling with. Okay. So if you are here with me live, say a quick hello so I can give you a shout out. It would be good to just know who's here and where you're watching from. We've got Beth here today. Hello, Beth. How are you? Hello, Christina. Lovely to see you on. We've got Cherie. Pen and paper in hand from Beth. Well done. Hello, Elise. Great to see you on. Hello, Susan. Who's freezing in their part of the world? I saw a video of yours earlier, Beth, where you're shoveling snow. It's so foreign to me in Australia, because even though we get cold, we don't really know what cold is in my part of the world. And there's actually some sun shining today. I'm pretty happy. We haven't seen much of summer yet, but hopefully over the next few weeks we'll get some sun. Oh boy, it's so true. Need to implement. I love the Metics. The reach and engagement sure does that makes sense. Go up. No, I have no idea what you're talking about, Susan. Put it in another way. Freezing snow. Okay, you can have that. I want my sunshine. Hello, Tony. Great to see you on. Thanks for saying hello. So make sure you say hello so I can give you a bit of a shout out. Just as I asked about freezing, my link froze. Oh, really? I don't want to jinx that. Okay, so let's get on to it. If you've listened to me before, you would know that on these videos, I talk a lot about how we tick. I don't want to get all deep and meaningful on you, but most of us are run by our subconscious. So there are things that you will do and you don't even understand why you do them. Some of you will label yourselves as being unorganized. Some of you will label yourselves as being stressed and overwhelmed. Some of you will label yourselves in a certain way, which is actually just a story you tell yourself. So we've got to be really aware of our habits, because your habits will make or break you. You'll either have great habits or you'll have habits that don't serve you well. So just, examples of that is, how healthy are you? How do you eat? Are you exercising? Like, you'll either have good habits in relation to that or not. Do you read? Do you listen to Audible? Do you do any personal development? Those that read, or if you're not a reader, you listen to things on Audible, you do personal development, you're always filling your brain with positive, mind growth stuff. It's a proven fact that the most successful people in the world are avid readers in some way. Like, they're always filling their brain, with good positive things. You do that over and over and over. You have those good habits. You will naturally sway to the positive rather than negative. It's unfortunate that around the world, with the news, the newspapers, radio, whatever, the media thrives on negative. It's just how it works. Like, how many positive stories do you see on the news when you watch the news? We haven't watched the news for years. Because our youngest son would absorb all that bad stuff and then have nightmares. So we are actually in a world full of negative. And unless you're really aware of that, you'll just absorb all of that and bring it into your life. Most people, when you say, how are you today? They'll go, oh, I'm okay. Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Oh, I'm really tired at the moment. Not many people turn around and say, I'm awesome. Not many people do that. So we have, we're surrounded by influences, we're surrounded by toxins, we're surrounded by a whole lot of negative influences in our life. And unless you've got a high level of awareness of the way that you think and the way that you tick and your bad habits, you can't change a damn thing, because you're run by subconscious. And some of you just don't understand why you do the things the way you do, because you don't really understand you. So what's my point with all of this? We have to evaluate and look back. I'll often say, don't look back too far, because with judgment, basically, is what I'm trying to say there. So, we need to look back to evaluate, to realize some certain things about ourselves, but you don't want to look back and judge. You do want to look back and evaluate. So please don't look back on 2022 if you haven't achieved what you necessarily want to achieve, and judge yourself badly and make it into a negative thing. So we've got to, be a little bit immune to that judgment and just look backwards to, okay, I didn't necessarily achieve what I wanted to this year, but what was the reason for that? Like, let's evaluate fairly and not put judgment behind it. So when I go into these questions, can you just promise me that you won't put judgment on yourself and turn this into a negative experience? You can't change anything you don't see. And unless you actually ask yourself some questions, there's some things that you need to see that you're not seeing about yourself. And if you want to have a better year and break bad habits, then you have to ask yourself some questions. Those of you that have worked more closely in my coaching community and my VIP program, you'll be familiar with these kind of questions, or versions of these kind of questions. But a lot of you out there, you're probably not really sort of evaluating or understand how you tick. You get up in the day, you go to your phone, you check your email and your messages and whatever, and you do what you need to do by the day. You get to the end of the day, it's like, I didn't achieve half the things that I wanted to today, and I didn't exercise, and I've gone for the bag of chips instead of the veggies, or whatever it is. You just day by day by day goes. And then you look back and go, how the hell did all those pounds, all those kilos creep on in the last 12 months? What happened? Or how did I go another year and I really haven't increased anything in my business? Like, if they're the kind of things that you sort of evaluate and look back, You need to make some changes, but you can't change anything you're not aware of consciously, because you just do the things that you do, because we're all run by our subconscious. So there might be things, in your past, and I talk about this quite often in these kind of videos, is, if you grew up with a mum and dad that never had any money, you probably don't even realize you've got issues with money. And you don't actually ever truly believe, like, think about that. Do you actually truly believe that you could be a 6 or a 7 or an 8-figure earner? What triggers for you when I say that? Are you sitting there on the other side of the screen going, yes, I can, and I sure will? Sorry, Instagram, a phone call came through. So hopefully that'll clear itself in the moment. Whenever that happens, when I get a phone call come through on Instagram, just a note to self, guys, when you're going live on your phone, put your do not disturb button on so you don't get phone calls when you're going live. Anyway, I can't even remember what I was saying now. The metrics. Okay, it's just the spelling of metrics is with a C. So you've confused me, Susan. The reach and the metrics on your page. I get it now. Went up so much. I will come and stay with you. Beth, shovel her snow for her. No judgment. Just ask herself questions. Evaluate. Okay. Yep. Susan, you can go around to Beth's anytime. Doors open. So this is what you're going to ask yourself. Okay. Write these down. Firstly, we want to start with the positive. What did I achieve this year? Question 1. What did you achieve this year? So look back, and as human beings, we're not very good at this sometimes. We look back and we think about all the things that we didn't achieve, and we don't often look back and think about all the things we did achieve. But it is very important to do that, to highlight a couple of things. 1, you've probably achieved more than you thought, than you realize sometimes, and it's important to do that as a human being, to back ourselves and have some confidence in ourselves, to look back and go, actually, you know what, I've achieved quite a bit this year, maybe not as much as I wanted to, but I've grown so much in this way and that way, and all that kind of stuff. And it's also to highlight what you did achieve. The second question. So the first question is, what did I achieve this year? Like, map it out. What did you achieve? Look at the positives. The second thing is, what worked well from that? So whatever you achieved and worked well. So what worked well? What were the activities that you actually did that worked well to help you achieve the things in question 1? And why you want to look at that is because you want to continue doing the things that actually worked well. So whatever progress you've made, improvements that you've made, and this is everything. This is health, this is weight, this is personal development, this is your business, this is your money, this is your environment, this is your relationships, this is in all aspects of your life. You should be looking at these kind of questions, okay? Because maybe you haven't made all the dollars in your business yet, but you're growing, you're progressing, you are becoming a different person. If you listened to my video last week, it's about who do I need to become to be a 6 or a 7-figure earner. And maybe you're growing and you're getting there and you're learning new skills and you're learning to think differently. Like, that's amazing. You want to continue on that path. Maybe you haven't got all the dollars in your bank account that you want yet, but you're actually physically growing emotionally, to being a person that's worthy of a 6-7-figure income. Does that make sense? So question 1, what did I achieve this year? So look at the positives, okay, before we go and challenge ourselves. The next one is what worked well. So what helped you achieve those things? What did you do that worked really well? Was it meal planning? Was it a regular exercise? Was it a morning routine? Was it not looking at your phone as soon as you got up? Was it time blocking for your business? Was it having a really good DMO? What did you do that worked well? Because when you look into 2023 and go into 2023, the things that you did well, you want to continue to do, obviously, okay? And we need to evaluate all of that. So that's 1 and 2. Number 3, what didn't I achieve this year that I wanted to? So just put it out there, and you need to write this stuff down. You need to get from your brain to paper. The psychology of how that all works is really important. You need to write it down. Okay. So if you haven't got a pen with you, you're driving or you're doing something else, please come back to these 5 questions, write them down, and then write your answers down. You need to be very clear with yourself and evaluate these kind of things realistically. Okay. So what didn't I achieve this year that I wanted to? So spell it out without judgment, though, please. Okay. So what did you have in mind for 2022 that you didn't achieve? So put it down, write it out, be very aware of what it is that you didn't achieve. And then your next question, what were the reasons for that? So we're putting down that without judgment, but then the question underneath is, what's the reasons for that? You need to look long and hard in the mirror as to what were the reasons for that. Now, that could highlight, okay, I had a family drama that took my attention away from my business for a few months, but I'm back on track now, so that's okay. I'm accepting of that. Or you look in the mirror and go, I just didn't do the work. I spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours listening to training, but I actually don't do anything with it. Like, if that's your reality, like what is your reality? What are or aren't you doing? What are the reasons that you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve? Did you actually just not do what you knew you needed to do? If that's the case, then you need to look in the mirror and make changes. But I'll say again, you can't change anything you're not aware of. So this is all about raising your level of awareness about the good things that you've done and continue them. But if there's things that you didn't achieve, what were the reasons that you didn't achieve it? You need to be very aware of that, because you can't change anything you're not aware of. Okay, so we're raising your level of awareness about that. Okay, and the last question, what can I change? What can I do differently? So really evaluating, what did you do well? Okay, I'm going to keep all those things in when I go into 2023. I'm going to do more of that. I'm going to follow that DMO because that really worked well for me. That's just 30 minutes a day every day. I can stick to that. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring that into 2023. But I started my day wrong every day. I picked up my phone with the very first thing I do. I didn't do any reading or visualization or meditation or whatever, affirmations or whatever. I gave myself to everyone else before myself when I woke up in the morning. Or I planned to exercise and then I picked up my phone and that just derailed me for half an hour to an hour that I didn't get the exercise done. So I'm not going to do that in 2023. I'm going to do my exercise first. I just put everything off my phone other than Audible, and I'm going to fill my brain first thing in the morning with positive stuff and do what I need to do so I'm in an amazing frame of mind, because when you're amazing, your business is amazing. When you're unhealthy, you're tired, you're sluggish, you're not achieving, things aren't going well, it's going to reflect in your business every time. So what are the things that you can improve and do for you that in turn will make you an amazing business? So you need to work out what you need to change. But again, you can't change anything you're not aware of. So that's why we've got to ask these questions and evaluate without the judgment. What didn't I achieve this year that I wanted to? Yeah, I didn't get that done. Why not? I just didn't set the time aside to do it. So what are you going to change? What are you going to do differently? I've got to get better at planning. That might be your thing. I've got to have chunks of time in my day for my business, and that is non-negotiable. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you go all day and you haven't done anything for your business. So your life is ruling you. You're not ruling your life. If that's the case and every day goes by and if you're not having any conversations, if you have nothing in your calendar to do with your business, and I'm not talking filling your calendar with training calls. Like if you're not in any Zooms or talking to anybody about your business, like your calendar is empty, what's going on? Maybe you're not doing the right activities. Maybe you're really busy watching a lot of training on a lot of calls, but you're not doing any work. You're not actually talking to anybody about what it is that you do. Get somebody to look at your social media and go, what do you think? It's like, well, I don't even know what you do. Then you might need to change your content for your social media. Like, I'm just giving you random ideas. I don't know what it is for you. Is anyone brave enough to say that's listening live or on the replay about what it is that you think you need to change? Just straight off the bat, need to do more of this or less of that or whatever. I would love to know, what's going through your head right now. And this is not to judge. This is not to look back and go, I'm an idiot. I didn't do enough this year. It's to go, okay, I'm just being realistic. I actually didn't do the work. I just didn't do the work. I let everything else get in the way. So what are you going to do differently? What are you going to change? At least 30 minutes every day is business time. I'm going to find that 30 minutes every day. And I'm going to do, that's my non-negotiable. And, if you get 80% of that and like 5 days out of 7, maybe you've done a half an hour a day, that's better than going 7 days a week with doing nothing, isn't it? So you're not going to nail it because you make a change. You're still going to falter in some way, but wouldn't you rather get more organized and be really clear with yourself what you know you need to do to move forward and be really aware of it so you can make progress? Some people's progress will be fast. Other people's progress will be slower, but progress is progress, and that's okay. So as long as you're progressing, but, have a look at your results. Has your business grown at all? If it has, awesome. What did you do to help it grow? Well, back then for those months, I actually talked to a lot more people, or I was more active on social media or whatever. So I actually need to do more of that, because when I did that and I upped my game, I got the results. You got to evaluate all this kind of stuff to know how you can bring that into next year and start doing more of the good things and start letting go of the things that don't serve you. Every one of you has things that don't serve you, I'm sure. I'm no different. So we've got to let go of things and work towards, planning better and all those kind of things. Okay. Yes. What did we achieve this year? What worked well? Yep, great summarizing there. We absolutely need to give ourselves credit for the amazing things we've already done. Let your past success guide you. Yeah. And, there are habits that lead to those successes. So what were the habits that you can continue doing because they worked well? Thanks for summarizing, Christina. What didn't I achieve this year that I wanted to? Number 4, what were the reasons for that? That's a really important question. And what can I change? What can I improve? What can I do differently? You have to look that in the face and really think about that question. Because if you want different results, you have to make different decisions. Okay? I let distractions get to me. So that's really good, Susan, that you've evaluated that and like the front of mind. Like even when we have this discussion, you've said that out loud. I let distractions get to me. So that's a really important one for Susan. What do I do differently? How do I change that? Like you might not come up with the answers straight away, but at least you have an awareness that you get distracted. So you're probably not doing maybe as much as you could do because you get distracted really easily. So start thinking of some things that you can change to not let those distractions creep in. Better planning and stick to it. Great, Susan. Need to take more action. Awesome, Cherie. Planning better for sure. Awesome. Hey, Vet, I need to stop training and start connecting. Awesome, Courtney. This is what I see a major downfall is there is, especially when it comes to social media, there is no endless amount of stuff that you can learn. And some of you are learning it over and over again, and it's already concreting what you know. And sometimes you hear it the 10th time and then the penny drops. So it's not that training time isn't important or learning and things like that, but equal in your calendar should be training time and action time. So if you're like 90% training and like 10% or less of actually implementing what you're learning, it's not going to serve you well. So however you plan your calendar, yep, training time, training calls, this is important, whatever. But, and maybe there's another call here. You might have to sacrifice it. It's like, is this what I need right now? Actually, no, because I'm not getting any results in my business. So I can go and learn something new, but I haven't even got myself organized. I haven't even got my content organized. I'm not talking to anybody. My calendar is empty. I'm not having any conversations with anybody in Messenger about my business. So, but you're listening to more training. Something wrong with that equation. So balance out that calendar. Okay, this is my training time. This is the calls that I need to be on. This is the training I want to attend. But then equal in your calendar should be the action time. What you're doing, how are you talking to more people? How are you building your audience? How are you attracting more people to you? Okay, all of that kind of stuff. Those of you in the video challenge, I just went in that Facebook group before this live and did the next video. And I talked a lot about what you should do after the video challenge and how important being valuable on social media is. You want to earn more money, just become more valuable to your audience, whether that's on a personal profile or a business page or whatever. So video challenges, please go and watch that video at some stage. Okay. So wrapping up, Christine has actually wrapped it up for you in the comments. So you can get a summary of that. Laurie, I did my live today on the all or nothing mentality, and Laurie is a self-confessed kind of, she's all in, or sometimes there's just nothing. Like, it just doesn't work very well. I'm not sure what you said on your live, Laurie, but it's no good to be all in for like 2 weeks and then all out for 5. Like, it just doesn't work. So if there's one piece of advice that I could give you for 2023, if you're not there yet, obviously go through these questions and really evaluate for yourself what you need to work on. But it really is the small things that you do every day, but it's the action. It's the small actionable things you do every way. That's how we lose weight. I wish I could look in the mirror and pray and work hard for 1 week and lose 10 kilos or whatever that equates to with pounds. I wish I could just go to the gym for 1 week and get really fit and lose my arm fat and, all that kind of stuff. Like, wouldn't that be nice if we could just put small bursts in and suddenly be all healthy in our eating plan and be all really fit and have a 6-pack and all the rest of it? Wouldn't that be amazing? Doesn't work that way, and neither does it in your business. So, treat your business like going on a diet or getting fit or something. You got to put the effort in continuously all the time, even when you don't feel like it. You have to work on your business if you want to get the results. You want to get more money in your bank account. You want to build a big team with amazing people and have a lot of fun and build an amazing culture and have it impact people's lives. You got to work on that every day. Okay. So, okay, just a couple of more comments and then I'll finish up. I try not to move on from any training until I've put into action something that I've learned from that training. Awesome, Laurie. I love that. In all the time, I just move from one thing to another instead of a little bit of it all every day. Great evaluation. That's another question I'll have to ask God when I get there. I'm not sure which question it was, but I'm glad you're thinking. Yes, great examples, Helen, and that's so true. It's consistency. It's love your truth. It can be easy to do. I've seen tendencies in that in myself. It's just, just speaking truth to yourself, being real with yourself about what it is that you need to do and perhaps you're not doing it, and not get swayed by knowing, just let me finish off on this. You would have heard this from me a million times if you've been around me for a while, is your brain is designed to actually keep you safe. So if something's uncomfortable, you will talk yourself out of it and you'll make excuses and you'll do something easy instead of maybe doing the hard thing. There will be a certain percentage of people that will go and do the hard thing and will be successful, but majority of people will shy away from hard things and take the lesser journey rather than facing it head on and go, no, I'm doing this. So I'll be like, no, I'm scared. This is uncomfortable. And your brain will go, that's okay. Just go do the washing. That's okay. Just, go and finish those dishes or making your cookies or whatever, and you can get back to it later. That's okay. That's what your brain's actually designed to do. If something feels uncomfortable or scary or something like that, your brain it's made up to talk you out of it. So unless you're highly aware of that, you need to go, okay, I'm scared of this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like, you've got to have control of your life. Rather than letting life and all the influences and all the interruptions and whatever, you're allowing that. You're allowing that in. So what kind of life do you want to lead? Do you want to be in control of it? Or do you want to let everybody rule you and you're just there going, Okay, I'm doing everything for everyone else and my business is not achieving what I want to achieve. That's because you've allowed that at the end of the day. So just all really good food for thought. Thanks for all your comments. Take that for what you will. But I really do encourage you. This is a time where people do evaluate. So sit with those questions and work out, the New Year's resolutions. Some people believe in them, some people don't. But it is a really good time of the year to sort of look back and go, how did I go? Okay, I did really well here, but I didn't do so well there. What am I going to do about it? What am I going to change? And change it. Because unless we have these kind of discussions, you won't change it because you're real base subconscious and it'll keep you there. So if you've got patterns of behavior that you've had for a long time, it's time to change. You up for that? You up for the change? You up for doing something about it so you can be the best version of you that you can be. And when you're awesome, your business will grow. Trust me, it will. It all comes down to you. Okay. Working on impacting people every day. I know, Tony, that pesky brain. Like, how dare it make us feel comfortable? I hear you, Tony. I hear you. But if you've got a level of awareness to counteract that, then you can actually go and do the things that scare you because we know that's where success lies at the end of the day. Success lies on the other side of your comfort zone, the other side of your couch, the other side of your TV, the other side of interruptions, the other side of, the chips and the chocolate and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I will leave it there. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you on Clubhouse tomorrow where we're kind of continuing this discussion with planning and how do we do that? How do we successfully do that? So join us tomorrow on Clubhouse. Coaching community members, we've got the live Q&A for US and Canadians tomorrow around this time. And then I've got the UK people on Thursday. Okay, so I will see you wherever we show up together next.